or pound 905 on your cell phone.
We are the Chester Oldies Hockey Team. You're listening to Information Morning on CBC at 90.5.
Well, you might say it was a bad call. Hundreds of kids who play and practice archery, lacrosse, floor hockey, and indoor ringette in Halifax were blindsided this week. The regional school board ruled they could no longer use public school gyms. Well, after a serious huddle, the school board reversed that decision yesterday, at least for some of those kids. Leslie Dunn speaks for Lacrosse, Nova Scotia.
Hello, Leslie.
Good morning.
What happened?
Well, the decision actually took place a couple of weeks ago. September the 13th, Mr. Charles Clattenburg, the Director of Operations, sent an email out advising 6 sports that they would no longer be permitted to host activities in school facilities, the school gyms, which is where the majority of us maintain our programs during off-season. We were certainly startled by the email. There had been no contact with us as the provincial governing body, nor had there been any contact with the next level down of governance from us, which is our Metro Minor Lacrosse League. So we were quite shocked. We attempted on several occasions to seek clarification and feedback from them, and that wasn't forthcoming until yesterday when we actually were able to secure a meeting with Mr. Clattenburg.
So if it's the Halifax Regional School Board, it's mostly the Metro League we're concerned about here then, right?
That's correct. That's where the majority of our players are. We have just over 1,800 players in the province, 1,500 of which are located inside Halifax Regional Municipality.
So how many schools would you ordinarily use?
Give and take, I would probably say core programs are running in 12 to 14, and it's the decision actually impacted our youth who are between 6 years and 12 years of age. And for those youth, the programs that we were actually running as drop-in and at no cost for the players and their families in order to help continue engaging them in the sport, develop their skills, and increase registrations for the next season. So it wasn't something that we were doing to increase our revenue. It was something that we were doing to enhance athlete development.
Ongoing problems with damage to school in the course of the years. How many years have you used them, by the way, the school?
Some of our associations, the Dartmouth Bandit Lacrosse Association, has actually been in the schools in the Dartmouth area for over a decade.
Problems with damage?
One light bulb broken.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what would it have meant if the school board said, look, we can't make an exception for lacrosse, we're going to do it across the board, we're sorry, but you're going to have to find another facility or other facilities?
I think a couple of things. First and foremost, in our conversations with Mr. Clattenburg, he was not aware that we are using softballs in the facilities. Our sticks have plastic heads, and our goals are collapsible, which means that they are actually set up on site versus being dragged across the floor. Our season is so short, even though we are Canada's official summer sport, we are still considered a fringe sport, so access to space for us during our seasons is at a premium. Our box league, which plays in arenas when the ice is out, of course, has to wait for hockey to finish, which gives us an 8-week season, and our field lacrosse season, which is the historic roots of the game from the First Nation culture, is 8 weeks as well, just a little over 8 weeks. We play from kind of mid-August to the end of October, and of course during that time we also have soccer and football looking to access facilities. So recreation facilities are at an absolute premium for a lot of sports in HRM. For us, it means that our athlete development only lasts for 16 weeks out of 52, so we have to be very creative in trying to find other spaces to develop the skill sets of our athletes, or we will never be able to move forward in long-term athlete development, and our athletes will never be able to compete at the same level as other provinces when we go to national tournaments that have access to year-round facilities for player training and development.
Are you convinced that everything is okay now? Everything's going to be fine?
It was a very positive meeting yesterday. I think that certainly Mr. Clattenburg was missing major pieces of information that would have helped in his decision-making. He did apologize to us. He said the decision to send that email probably should have been rethought, and the meetings actually should have taken place in advance. We spoke at length about how our governance structure works and how we've been good tenants for over a decade. We want to continue to be good tenants for many, many years to come. It's important. It's vital to us to be good tenants, and we want to be able to work with them in the best way possible to ensure that all youth, regardless of what sport they are playing, have an opportunity to engage in community use of school facilities.
Leslie, thank you very much.
Thanks ever so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Leslie Dunn is Vice President of Marketing for La Crosse, Nova Scotia. Charles Clattenburg is Director of Operations for the Halifax Regional School Board.
Good morning, Mr. Clattenburg.
Good morning.
Who made this decision?
Yes.
You made the decision?
Yes, in consultation with some of my other staff, yes.
I'm talking about the original decision to ban the kids. Why?
We were getting some damage to our schools, and we're having some administrative problems getting those repairs done, and it become a burden to our budget, and we decided that we had to take some steps to eliminate that.
You've gotten things sorted out quite happily, apparently, according to Leslie, with La Crosse. What about archery, floor hockey, and indoor ringette?
We're going to, we've been working with Sports Nova Scotia and their affiliated groups, and we're going to have some additional meetings similar to what we had with La Crosse. And hopefully, with their cooperation, we can work through and open up the schools to those activities again.
In your contact with the schools themselves, Leslie said in the case of almost a decade in somewhere between 12 and 14 schools when one light bulb broken, it would seem to me that if you had meetings with the various groups before the decision was made, you might have been able to sort some of this out.
Yeah, unfortunately, through our process, we get bookings from individuals or just small groups. We don't get contacts with the organizing groups or the provincial groups and that sort of thing. And this process, the meeting with La Crosse, Nova Scotia yesterday has brought that larger group in, and they made a commitment to help us monitor and control the use of the gyms, make sure that proper equipment's used in the gyms rather than outdoor equipment. As Leslie said earlier, indoor equipment, softballs, and that sort of thing. And when we get that kind of cooperation, it's going to help us, we believe.
I know that you, like me, can imagine people listening saying we hear all the time about kids not getting up off the couch, not getting away from the video games, getting fat, getting sluggish. And here's HRM cutting off access to facilities for people who are active. It's sort of counterintuitive.
Oh, definitely. We were very disappointed in having to take the steps we did. Our gyms are used about over 3,000 hours a year for all kinds of activities. We're having some difficulty with some of these sports, and it's not everybody that's involved in the sport was causing the problem. Our issue is that we didn't have the level of control like over the provincial organizations and that sort of thing, and we were having some people come in with the wrong equipment, carrying out the wrong activities, and we were struggling with how to control that, and we took the steps we did.
Just briefly, we have about 30 seconds left. Is there a reasonable chance that the other groups will be able to meet with you and have the kind of success that the La Crosse folks did? I
believe so. I think that, with controls being put in place and that sort of thing, we can definitely open up the buildings and have success.
Thank you very much for taking our call today.
No problem.
Good to talk to you.
Charles Clattenburg is Director of Operations for the Halifax Regional School Board.
Speaking of schools, stock transportation in the Halifax